David Jordan is the private advisor to CEOs, specialising in creating results through strategic innovation. Welcome to this week's segment.
It's very important for many companies to really focus on not abusing their position as being a middleman, but really to start adding value. There's around 60% of companies are involved in a business where they're acting as a middleman between suppliers and end customers. And these are the companies that are at most risk from digital disruptors, whose business models are to try and undercut or replace these organizations as middlemen. An organization that we all know that acts as a middleman is banks. And banks act as a middleman between those people who want to lend their money, usually as deposits, and those who want to borrow. Over time, as the banks have dominated that market position as a middleman, they've taken a larger and larger cut of the transaction. To the point now is that it makes it viable for digital disruptors to come in and undercut that business. A very good example of that is peer-to-peer lenders. And peer-to-peer lenders are a digital disruptor who use the technology and a business model to enable the lender and the borrower to talk together without having the bank in the middle. Not only do they avoid the middleman, but they share the savings of the technology with the lender and the borrower. So now you have a situation where people who used to deposit money in the banks can get 4 to 5% more by lending to a peer-to-peer lender, and those that are borrowing through the peer-to-peer lender could get savings of up to 10% on loan interest. This makes it a very powerful replacement to the banks, and it is a good example of how digital disruptors can have a significant impact on the margin that you've managed to grow from controlling a market channel. So the saying is there are many organizations in having a contractual control of a channel have managed to build reasonable sized margins. But the problem is that digital disruptors are going around those contractual provisions. So I may have the marketing rights for a product in Australia, but my customer can go and order that product from the United States through the internet. Now, even if the United States company could say, look, we're not going to deliver to addresses in Australia to try and protect our distributor, there are all these companies that have been set up to being a mailing address in the United States who then will ship the product onto the customer in Australia. So digital disruptors keep going around those controls. And if you think that across the world, governments are having difficulties trying to protect the regulated taxi markets from a digital disruptor such as Uber, then that challenge is even greater for companies trying to use contractual positions to control a channel. When you think about this, it's really important now, if you want the customers to deal with you, then you need to add value. So if you want the customers to deal through you rather than bypassing you through the internet and buying straight from the customer, then focus on how you are adding value to that sale or that process. So a very good example of that is mortgage brokers. Mortgage brokers solve the customer's problem of trying to understand the complexity of getting a home loan, trying to find the best price. The mortgage broker solves that problem. They save the customer time and money, and the customer is prepared for the mortgage broker to make money on that transaction. And if I'm talking about how I add value, it's really about solving the customer's problem. So it comes back to innovation, If you want to drive profit and growth, if you want to protect your business from digital disruption, then that innovation has to be about solving the customer's problem.
If you don't have a copy of David's book, The CEO Innovation Blueprint, you can get that now at freeceoblueprintbook.com.au. That's freeceoblueprintbook.com.au.